All right, so now that we've learned about finding the GCF of numbers and of letters, variables, we're going to start factoring binomials. So we're going to factor this binomial, which means we're going to find the GCF of both terms. So if you had this term, negative 9x and negative 12, first we're going to look at the number and we're going to factor the GCF of 9 and 12. So I'm going to get Desmos. We're going to use Desmos. I'm going to go to functions, miscellaneous, and then GCD, and I'm going to put 9 and 12, and it tells me my GCF is 3. So my greatest common factor of 9 and 12 is 3. And in this case, since they're both negative, it's going to be negative 3. Try this again. Negative 3. And now I look at my variable. This one has a variable, so there's no common variable. So the only thing I'm taking out is the negative 3. So I'm remove negative 3 from both of these terms. So that means I'm going to divide negative 9x divided by 3 is 3x. And negative 12 divided by negative 3 is positive 4. And this would be factoring. They call it reverse distributing, right? Because I'm taking that out. I'm finding what they both have in common and I'm taking it out and putting the rest in a parentheses. So if I was to distribute this negative 3, negative 3 times 3x is negative 9x. Negative 3 times positive 4 is negative 12. I should get the same thing. If I didn't get the same thing, then I did something wrong. Let's try another one. Let's try this one, 40 and 8. So I'm going to work on the numbers, find the GCF of the numbers, 40 and 8, and I'm going to use Desmos. So this might be the last time I show you how to do this, and so I don't have to keep on bringing this over. But if you remember, we're going to hit functions, miscellaneous, make sure we're on that, and then GCD. And I'm going to put the two numbers, which is 40 and 8. And my greatest common factor for 40 and 8 is 8. So that's the number, 8. And now I'm going to look at the two variables. I have n to the 6th and n to the 5th. And again, we can take this, since they have the same variable, we can take the smallest exponent, which in this case is n to the 5th. So the GCF of both of these terms is 8n5. And now I can divide that from both of these terms. So 40n6 divided by 8n5 is 5n. And then 8n5 divided by 8n5 is 1, negative 1, because of this negative. And again, if I was to multiply 40 in 6 and then multiply this, would be minus 8n5, I would get the same thing. I'm going to do some more examples. So hopefully the more I do, the more it'll make sense. So again, I'm going to start with it's negative 20 and negative 30. I'm going to use Desmos, and I'm going to put 20 and 30 in it. Here, I'll do it one more time. One more time. Functions, miscellaneous, GCD, 20, comma, 30. GCF is 10. I go over here, and I know it's, since they're both negative, I'm going to pull out a negative 10. I look at my variable. It's only in this one, so I don't need to, so I can't pull that out. And then I divide. This is my greatest GCF, so now I'm going to divide. Negative 20K3 divided by negative 10 is 2K3. Negative 30 divided by negative 10 is positive 3. This would be my answer. And if I multiply, I get the same thing. So that's how I know I did it right. So 20 and 30, do the numbers first. That's 10. R squared and R. I can take the smallest variable that's in both. So that would be R. And then I'm going to divide. 20R squared divided by 10R is 2R. 30R divided by 10R is 3. So this is my answer. Again, if I was to multiply 10R times 2R, it's 20R squared. 10R times 3 is 30R, right? I would get the same thing, but this is my answer. So 8 and 2, I can put it in Desmos. And let's say I put it, you put it in Desmos and you check it, and the GCF of 8 and 2 is 2. Now I look at my exponents, my variables with exponents, my variables, x to the third and x to the second. So I can take the smallest one, which is x to the second. And now I divide it. I divide 8x to the third divided by 2x squared is 4x. Again, review the video if you need to, but 8 divided by 2 is 4. X to the third divided by x squared is x, right? 3 minus 2. And then 2x squared divided by 2x squared is 1. And that's my answer. So the GCF of 40 and 7, I use Desmos. It's going to be 10. X squared and x, I take the smallest one, which is x. This step here hopefully makes sense and should be easy for you since you don't need any math. You just need Desmos. The dividing part is hard if you had trouble in the last unit. 40x squared divided by 10x is 4x. Negative 70x divided by 10x is negative 7. And that's my answer. Do another one. So 8 and 20, use Desmos to find the GCF. It's 4. This one has an n, this doesn't. So I cannot take out an n because they both have to have the variable. 8n divided by 4 is 2n. 20 divided by 4 is 5. That's my answer. The GCF of the numbers 30 and 100 would be 10. And again, there's n3, but there's no n here. So I can't take out an n. Then I divide 30 and 3 divided by 10 is 3n to the third. Negative 100 divided by 10 is negative 10. All right. So 20 and 30 is 10. X and nothing, so I can't take out an x because it has to be in both, in all the terms for you to take it out. 20x divided by 10 is 2x. 30 divided by 10 is 3. Use a calculator if you need to. So GCF of 14 and 63 is 7. 7. The GCF of x cubed and x squared, again, I can take the smallest one, so that would be x squared. And now I'm going to divide this and this. 14x to the third divided by 7x squared would be 2x. Right, 3 minus 2 is 1. 63x squared divided by 7x squared would be 9. And that's my answer. If I was confused and I wanted to check to make sure I was right, all I have to do is just distribute to make sure I get my original question. 7x squared times 2x is 14x cubed. 7x squared times 9 is 63x squared. So I know I did it right because that's the same. So I have 72 and 16. Let's put this one in here. So again, 72 and 16. This is what you should be doing, right? You go to Desmos because you can use it on the test in the SOL. Functions, miscellaneous, GCD, 72 and 16. So 72, comma, 16, and it's 8. So that's the GCF of 72 and 16 is 8. Then I look at my letters, b to the 5th and b to the 4th. So I could take the smallest one, which is b to the 4th. And then I'm going to divide 72b to the 5th divided by 8b to the 4th is 9b. 72 divided by 8 is 9. b5 divided by b4 is b. And then I have negative 16b4 divided by 8b4, which is negative 2. 15b minus 10, so the GCF is 5. Again, use Desmos. I can't take out the v because they're not in both of them. 15v divided by 5 is 3v. Negative 50 divided by 5 is negative 10. Well, that's all I have. We'll do more practice in class. The trick is make sure you're using Desmos for the number. And then when you look at the letters, all the terms have to have the same letter, and you take the smallest exponent.